Go ahead, put it on real tight. Hope you brought your best tonight. They say they got the fireworks, yeah, they say they got the show. You're around the shoots, you're the best, so let's go.
This is Texas Toast, a production of TSE Entertainment. I'm your host, Miss Helen. Kick back and enjoy as we toast the best from Texas.
All right, here we go. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Texas Toast. I'm Miss Helen, along with a young lady who has really, you're just tearing it up. Let's welcome Ariel Hutchins to the Texas Toast. Hello, Ariel.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. And you are really out there just slamming it. Like, wine won't work. Let's talk about that first of all.
So it's crazy to think that we just recorded that song not too long ago. Wine Won't Work is just one of those songs that you're having a bad day. I mean, I think almost anybody can relate. Sometimes wine just doesn't do the job. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I would just like, if it's just a stressful day, get in the bathtub, clothes on, and just drink some whiskey. It's been one of them days.
I love it. Well, I know I had found the song as it started charting, and I had highlighted it on our Texas on Tap, and it was like, it's just my kind of song. Cause yeah, a lot of us girls, like you said, we can totally relate to that song, but it was your voice with that song that just brings it to life. Like, you had the perfect voice for that song. And it's just like, I could listen to it over and over and over. But congratulations on the number one.
Thank you. And I know that's crazy.
And not only that, but was this your first single release to Texas music?
Absolutely.
And it went number one. And so that went down in the history books right there. And we have a lot of strong females that have went number one, but for you to have your first release and it to go to number one, I'm so happy and proud of you.
Thank you. I'm, when we got into this originally, it was never thought about it getting to number one or anything like that. It was just getting some music out and, letting people hear who I am as an artist. So it's definitely crazy to even think that it's hit number one. I'm still shocked.
Well, and of course you're an Abilene girl, and we're going to get into your next release, but let's let the people listening get to know your backstory a little bit. So you're from Abilene and you're a mom. You're just one of us normal, everyday girls doing great things. So tell us about your family.
So, I'll start for here. I was actually born in Abilene. I live in Cross Plains, Texas now, with my 3 babies and my husband. My son, he is 5, and I have a daughter who is 3, and I got a son who is 1, just turned 1. So it's quite
crazy.
Quite active in the Hutchins household for sure. But we've a lot of the music and stuff comes from our everyday of life, and small towns, they hold such powerful traditions that I would like to continue to implement in the in the music and keep that alive and relative. So just raising my babies in this small town, and I couldn't love it anymore. I don't want to go anywhere else.
Yeah, I'm a small town girl. I grew up in a small town, and it doesn't matter where you go, or at my age now, those roots are still there. Those roots will always be there. And I'm always an advocate for my hometown, even though I call it my big girl hometown now. But where I grew up, we are still so close, even after all these years, with my classmates and dear friends. And speaking of that, you married your high school sweetheart.
Yes. So my husband actually graduated 2 years before I did. It's kind of a funny story, I'd like to say, but I got married my senior year. I did, so everyone kind of looks down upon that, but I did, and we're still married and going strong. But yeah, I sure did.
Well, so you did a lot your senior year. I didn't know you got married your senior year, but isn't that when you started your band?
Yes. So, well, it was towards the end of senior year. I graduated, and I was actually pregnant with my first son. That's I got pregnant that summer, and anyways, that's kind of like right after I had him. I mean, I was trying to do the singing thing during the senior year. I sang at all the national anthems. I sang anywhere I could get myself into, whether it was just playing the guitar at different little restaurants and stuff. So, but finally, after I had my son, is when we really hit hard. And I had a guy approach me. His name is Roy Smith. He's very dear to me. He actually kind of got me started. He was like, "Why haven't we done something? Let's find you a band. Let's get you the full band sound and that scene, and I think you'll really enjoy it." So we did, and he owns a little studio. And as crazy as it sounds, he owns a little studio behind his house. It's just a little studio, and I'd never been out there before, which I knew his wife because I went to school with his wife. And we got out there as a full band, practiced in there, wrote some music, and I mean, it kind of just took off from there.
Wow, that's the best kind of story right there. From from the ground zero basically, and just starting everything and starting small like that. And so you have, yeah, that's awesome. I saw, speaking of Star Spangled Banner, you got to sing the Star Spangled Banner when they finally had the PBR.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I bet that was awesome.
I was so excited.
So
my son, yeah, he was super excited. He wants to be a bull rider when he grows up. So being able to do that and him watch, and that was actually the first time my child has been able to witness me singing. And so he was like in front of a lot of people. So he was pretty excited about that.
Oh, wow. That'll go down in the family memory book for sure.
Yes, ma'am, for sure.
So what do you look for in music that you select for your projects or to record?
A feeling would be the most. I eventually want to do. I want to go back like old country. Like I've been telling my team this, and they're about ready to strangle me because we're not even through with our next project, and I'm already trying to change things up. I eventually want to go back to like old country, like the storytelling, like Johnny Cash, how he can sit there and he can tell an entire story in a song, with 3 chords. So eventually I want to get back into something like that, like Loretta Lynn, Dolly, all of them implemented a lot of storytelling. And so I do eventually want to get back to that. But as of right now, just something more feely touchy that, everybody can relate to as far as music wise.
So were some of those ladies you just mentioned, those legends, were they some of your influences in music growing up?
Absolutely.
Who did you like to listen to?
Yes, and Loretta Lynn, she's got such a cool story. It makes you think because she was a mom. She knew the struggles, so it's definitely inspiring to see such a strong woman, go through all that and know that hey, it's possible, we can do this.
Mm-hmm. So you're in the studio because I know you have a current album, Rewind, now.
Yes, ma'am.
So how long has that one been out, and what all is on that?
Okay, so Rewind is actually just kind of like an EP. It's like a 5-song EP. And it hasn't been out for very long. I renamed Rewind the album because that was one of the very first songs I've ever wrote was Rewind. And so I really wanted to get that recorded and get that out there. And it's got Why Won't Work on there, obviously, and it's got another song on there. It's called Pops' Song that I actually sat down and I wrote for my husband's grandfather. He's just one of those men that they don't make anymore, and it make me cry talking about it. He's a wonderful guy. So and it's got a few other upbeat songs that hopefully you can 2-step to, because that's kind of what I look for, something that everybody can dance to and really enjoy, not only just on a CD or streaming it, but live too. So
yes, exactly. Well, let's talk about showing off.
Oh man.
Let me tell you, Ariel, the first time I heard that song, it was like a religious experience. I mean, like it was just like that moment to where I love it. And tell the story, because that's you and Sundance Head. You kind of got picked for that to do the duet.
So not necessarily in a way. We were both, I was generally, I wanted to do a duet. Did I ever expect Sundance would come along for this and be on board with this? Absolutely not. We had Dave Smith, we share radio, our guy. So we share the same. And we'd reached out to Dave, and I was like, Dave, I want to do a duets, uh, get me somebody. And I guess he'd reached out to Sundance, was like, hey, and Sundance was like, yeah, let's do it. So we kind of got together, picked a song, and it kicked off from there. So
Oh yeah, it's kicking off really good because it had the most ads and most spin increase. It debuted at 49 on TexasCountryMusicChart.com. It's already charting on Texas Regional Radio Report. There's no doubt that is just going to be one of those benchmark songs for so many people. It's just going to be one of those that's like a staple in your pantry, in your music
thank
library for so
you.
many. So, and are y'all going to have a video for that?
Yes, ma'am. We just shot a video last week in Austin. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm pretty excited myself. I'm not one. It's so hard to shoot because I'm such a funny person, and when you have to be serious, so I'm sure they were ready to strangle me by the time it was over with. But we had a lot of fun.
I think I can kind of relate to that silly kind of stuff because I'm a pretty silly girl myself. I just have to kind of, really, check myself sometimes.
Yes.
Get serious. So,
Yes.
so you have your family and you're out doing shows. How are you juggling with? Do the kids come with you, or how are you working that?
No, it's kind of a give and take, and I have the best support system at home. I could not do it if I didn't have my husband, because he supports me 100%. He's ready to be a stay-at-home dad, so he's like, let's get on the road.
Oh, I love it.
He's my biggest motivator when it comes to music and getting things done. So as far as he handles the children and stuff while I go out on the road and do shows, which I mean I couldn't do it without him. So I can't even begin to tell you how blessed I am to have someone like that hold down the fort while mom's out.
Uh-huh. So what is your set list like? What is your live show like?
My set list.
Silly.
Yeah, we're kind of a little bit of a hardcore sometimes. Like we like to kind of do like a country rock thing. It's real smooth. I mean, sometimes you'll hear us get real Gretchen Wilson, and then we'll tune down and do like a real slow, like Miranda Lambert kind of thing.
Oh, awesome. Can't wait to see one of your shows. And so I did see I was looking at your schedule because I like to check and see if anybody's coming to my area. Of course, Kyle knows this. I live at the end of the earth. I'm on the Gulf Coast. I mean, like literally the beach and the bay is behind me. So to get inland to a show, it's all right, just an hour drive for sure, just to get to the first interstate, but I love it. But I see where you have a Salvation Army benefit with Coffee Anderson. Have you met Coffee yet?
Yes, I have actually met Coffee, and I did a show with him back in Brownwood. I opened for him a few years ago, and he actually pulled me up on stage to sing a song with him.
He is a mess, but he is an amazing man. I had him on the podcast, and he's a part of our TSE family here at TSE Entertainment, and who helps support this podcast. He is a hoot. Love him.
Yes, he definitely is. I love watching his Netflix show.
Oh, yes, for sure. And so speaking of that, that's a perfect segue because I was going to ask you, when you do have like downtime, or like if you're at home, what is like a guilty pleasure for you, like just to like for Ariel?
It would be a lot of the times if I have downtime, it's doing something with the kids, whether it's with Weston and him outside riding, horses and stuff, or just sitting down on the back porch and picking some music. It just doesn't get no better than that.
Okay. So I know we talked about that you're in the studio working on some new projects, and looking at the future, like where do you see yourself in the next year?
It's really hard to tell. I want to be, I don't know. It's such a hard question for me because I'm just one of those go day by day and just live every day and enjoy the little moments, enjoy the small victories and stuff. So it's hard to see where I would see myself in a year. Hopefully everybody will at least hear my name or get to hear a little bit of the music that that we do. So That's really all I can ask for.
Yes, day by day, one show at a time, one
Yes.
single at a time, just being consistent. But I really think I mean, obviously you came in like a hurricane.
Thank you.
But it was a no-brainer. You deserved it. I mean, Wine Won't Work is a great song, and then your follow-up with Sundance, I only see great things from you, and I'm just so happy that you took the time to join us, and I'm going to be keeping up with you and following your music and hopefully catch you down the road one of these days.
Thank you. And I'm sorry that I had to have a old busted lip. I mean, it doesn't get more country than that, running into a barbed wire fence. Days
Oh,
before your video shoot.
oh, that's okay. That's okay. We all have those moments. So, all right. Well, thanks for joining us. And before I let you go, we always ask this question on the Texas Toast podcast. If you were a cocktail, what would you be?
Oh gosh.
That's hard.
Oh my gosh, that is really hard. Considering I don't drink cocktails. Hold on. Is a martini a cocktail?
Yeah. Or how about just a cold beer?
And then I'm more of a double shot of whiskey. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we got that. Wine won't work. Let's hit the whiskey.
That's right.
And so, Ariel, if people want to find, look up more information, where's the best place for them to find you? Social media, website?
Yeah. So I'm everywhere. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, on old TikTok. I have a webpage, arielhutchinsmusic.com. You can find my merch there too.
Awesome.
The EP as well if you want to buy it. So I'm everywhere. You can Google me and I'm there.
There you go. There you go. Just Google. Okay, Ariel, thank you so much. And congratulations on the success. And I know you'll have much more continued success.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being with us, Ariel.
And with a heavy tongue, she knew where I was from. As she left, I dared to say, well, you can go to hell. Hell, I'll go to Texas. I've had my fill of every place but home.